Okay, so are we waiting for the other set of semis now?
Um, I think
Okay.
whoever is making this map is trying to find the map, which
Um,
they're making.
do
I
they
guess.
want to wait, or are they willing to wait? Um, I think we should have them play their match.
Tell them they can play if they want to play.
Yeah, because we'll cast our second and third game,
Who's in that
depending
match?
on if this one, how long this one lasts.
Um, I'll just send a message to Neku that if they want to play, they can play. I hope you're ready.
I'm ready. I said 1 second trying to get some communication things done, but apparently we already took care of it, so we will be watching and casting the game 2 of the best of 3 between ClassicK and Twix.
It stopped at game starting 0 seconds for me.
It did it? Did you drop?
Oh nope, I just got into a loading screen.
Okay, we good? We good, bros?
I don't know, maybe.
We
Nobody's
can
loading.
help. Okay, I think we're good.
There we go.
Did anybody drop?
I don't know. I hope not. That'll be terrible plan for a drop. Okay, we're good.
Yep, we are good. Okay.
Scary
Now-
moment there.
Truly frightening. You know, I think this is the first game that we're gonna see a scouting overlord go the right direction for once, because we have ClassicK spawning as our blue Zerg at the bottom, sending his scouting overlord up to top left, where our green Zerg Twix is spawned.
Go, go, classic!
Twix has been dropping references all over this tournament, and it shall be no exception here.
Twix, it's fun to watch him play, just because of the stuff he
Right.
says.
Yep. ClassicK responding with a reference to follow that up.
This is the game 2 of a best of 3 in the semifinals, with Twix up 1-0, right?
Yes. Now last game, we saw ClassicK get really greedy with that expansion, and he had such a huge lead. However, that lead was shut down very quickly just by the sheer amount of units that Twix made. ClassicK could have sort of stalled and danced out to Zerglings in the middle of the map. However, he decided to do a run by, decided to go for a quote-unquote base trade. But just because you have more macro, or just because you have more drones, doesn't mean you have more larvae. And that's one really important thing in early ZVZ. Your minerals can only, you can only make so many drones, even if you have the minerals, and that's sort of what doomed ClassicK. Let's see if he decides to switch it up this game, if he decides to go for a more aggressive build. Both players are about to finish their spawning pool. Our gas is coming up from Twix. ClassicK is going gasless once again.
On such a big map, do you expect to see early aggression, or do you think these players will macro up?
We didn't see quote-unquote early aggression, like nothing really crazy. Last game from Twix. Twix was just content to sort of stay back 2 bases for a little while, but then we did see that aggression. He didn't show that on cross positions on Shakur's Plateau, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him do something like that on a map like Teldream Altar.
And a Roach Horn coming up for ClassicK, I think he learned his lesson from last game. Twix is kind of stealing ClassicK's little spine curler in the middle of the line. Oh no, ClassicK is stealing it. There we go. Fix that up.
Both players are going with basic mirror builds right now. Both players getting that Roach Warren. Twix is sort of behind by about 10 seconds. Not gonna be a huge deal, but we do have that hatchery going up for ClassicK.
He does like his macro game.
He does. Now, Twix has a lot of minerals, okay? He's probably just gonna save. He's gonna save it up. Like there it goes. He makes 5 roaches right off the bat.
So with those 5 roaches making, those not being drones or an expansion, I would assume that he's going to attack early.
It would be great because, you know, ClassicK definitely doesn't have anything to stop this. The Overlord does see the early expansion, so he knows that he's gonna have that instead of more units. We have these roaches going out, but I don't think that, I don't really think that we're gonna see these roaches push out. I think we're gonna see hatchery go down, and these 6 roaches are just gonna stay back and start defending it.
But his hatchery is a full, what is that, 85 seconds later than ClassicK. That's a lot of mine time and a lot of larvae that he's not going to have.
That's true. However, it didn't really help ClassicK last game. Let's see what big differences there are between these 2 games. As if both of them have nearly the same amount of units, but ClassicK does have, you know, 3 less roaches, but 3 less roaches translate into 1 more hatchery, and that exponential growth is going to really help ClassicK. Both players are staying relatively passive right now.
I'm actually kind of happy that we're going to see a macro ZVZ game, because we haven't had one of these yet today.
Yeah, we've had a few that have tried to be, but just the overwhelming amount of early aggression just sort of stifled that. I will say that both these players have really mirror builds. They both would roach war at the same time. Their hatcheries were a bit apart, but both of them are researching speed at the same time too. Both of them have nearly identical supply. One has 52. Twix has 52 as well. If both of them keep up with this, then we're going to see a really good engagement that's going to mainly focus on who just has better unit control. ClassicK is going to move up and he's going to just source seed to Zelnaga Tower. He's going to leave just as these Zerglings get in here, so these Zerglings are going to die for none.
And he did take 1 Zergling, almost took 2. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but it kind of is. Because 2 Zerglings, 1 drone, lots of money.
Technically, people say that Zerglings don't cost anything, but just if you have the Zerglings, you might as well use them. Twix is gonna try to do a little run by, but it's gonna get promptly evened out by the map control that ClassicK's having around this Zelnaga Tower. ClassicK is not doing what he did last game. He's not going to take a huge lead. He's going to just sort of be threatening this army. Now, there are a lot more, this isn't nearly identical. Whoa. There's a lot more Zerglings from ClassicK. Is that going to help him in this engagement?
I don't know. They're fairly even on roach numbers.
Yeah, but at the end of that fight, Twix had more roaches, no matter how many Zerglings popped out. The Zerglings are basically meat shields at this point. If they both have an equal amount of roaches and the roaches attack, then the Zerglings make a huge difference.
26 lings are about to pop. He just has to hold out for them to come up. And there they are. He needs to surround these roaches.
Are coming out. The roaches are going to try to hug the wall. We have a bunch of reinforcement Zerglings coming out for ClassicK as well.
It's really close.
Right, there's only 4 more roaches out for Twix. Twix is getting overrun here just by the sheer amount of units. It's deja vu.
But reverse.
Reverse, exactly. Vice versa. Gonna run to the main. Not going to bother with the natural. He's gonna take down the queen. I don't think that Twix is gonna be able to recover from this. He can only spawn so many Zerglings, and that's GG from Twix. And he requests Shattered for the 3rd and final map.
Very quick decision to Shattered Temple. Do you believe that that is a really good ZVZ map, or do you think it's just his personal preference?
Well, there, I would say it's some personal preference. Because I don't see any, like, maybe I'm just not thinking enough, and maybe I'm just not smart enough or something, but, like, I don't really see any glaringly, great things for a mirror matchup when it comes to picking a map.
Well, what I meant
At
is
least for ZVZ.
there are some maps that Zerg players absolutely hate. A great example of this would be a map that recently got taken out of the map pool, which I think a lot of people hated. It was Delta Quadrant.
I thought you were about to say Metalopolis. I was like, you troll, don't say it.
Yeah, because everyone hates Metalopolis.